Let's just look at some of these numbers that we have, particularly Uttar Pradesh. If we can for a moment try and give our viewers a sense of how UP has actually voted. 270 is a huge win in India's most populous state. Let's look at it region by region. We'll go vote share. Purvanchal vote share, 13% is BSP, 34% is SP, BJP 42%. And we'll say, this is which was perhaps the most competitive area. Purvanchal turned out to be the most competitive area, Eastern UP. That's why many people who went to Purvanchal saw that element of competition, including Preeti Chaudhary, who was traveling through Gorakhpur and other parts. This was competitive. But when it went into seats, you will see how it translated. In terms of seats in Purvanchal, that's where you will see that when you have an 8% lead in a bipolar race, it gives you the party which has that lead. Okay, let's look at the Awadh vote share. So we look at vote share first, because that gives you a sense. Here the BJP in its gud, in its fortress areas around Lucknow, Barabanki, Ayodhya, this area, the gap was about 6%, which again, many would say reflects, and the Samajwadi Party came up here. The polarization meant the Samajwadi Party had its best ever performance in Awadh, but not good enough. Bundelkhand, the poorer part, areas around Jhansi, the heart, here clean sweep. And this is why one of the talking points will be the poorer areas seem to vote even more strongly for the BJP. Was it Labharti politics, ration working very effectively, is something that we'll have to discuss. And then we look at Western UP, which was in a way seen to be where the Samajwadi Party had to pick up momentum. Here the BJP has a 9% lead. So the BJP's lowest lead, it turns out, was in Eastern UP. And in Western UP, despite this large coalition, they were able to best back the BJP. Preeti, this is what has surprised you, right? You traveled a lot through Western UP, Baghpat, Muzaffarnagar, Meerut. The Samajwadi Party, RLD, have done reasonably well, but not well enough.
I think the RLD would think it's done reasonably well. If it gets about 10 seats, then I think the RLD would think it's done reasonably well.
That's Jayant Chaudhary's party.
That is Jayant Chaudhary's party. But I don't think that vote transfer has happened, which is what I was also fearing when we were covering.
Just look at how it's translated into seats. And Pradeep, you might want to explain this. 90 plays 46, almost 2, and all have been blanked out, including the once mighty Mayawati of the BSP, who comes from Western UP. I just wanted to understand, Pradeep, when you are the challenge for a pollster is not just about getting vote share, but translating that into seats. That's the nightmare. How do you do it?
So that's the reason why we go to seats here. So we never face that kind of nightmare.
So you don't get into any issue of translating vote share into seats because you're going to every seat.
And we analyze every seat as if as the full.
And your sample size for every seat in UP 200,
300.
300 per seat.
Yeah, that's why it is total making out to 1,21,000 this time.
Wow, fantastic. As many WhatsApp groups that the BJP has, Pradeep went to that many voters. The BJP very good at booth level with its Panna Pramukhs, its block Pramukhs, its Shakti Kendras and Mandals. Let's turn now to Awadh and take a look at how the seats translated in the Awadh area. What were the seats that they got in Awadh? This is, of course, the vote share. How did it translate in UP Awadh into seats? And take a look at what is happening in terms of the seats here. 77-32. So again, 2:1, more than 2:1. This was, of course, as I keep saying, a fortress for the BJP. The BJP expected to do well. And then the final area that I want to come to is in Purvanchal. Because the competition here was the most severe, the most serious, in terms of the fact that you had a caste alliance stitched together. Lots of smaller parties, Nishads, Rajbhars, Nonias, all were there on the side of the Samajwadi Party. How did it actually work out? 48 played 84. Congress won 1 year, others 3, BSP 3. So, in a sense, there isn't a single region where the BJP is behind. It's dominated Uttar Pradesh today across regions. This is a pan-region sweep, which is the only way to describe what happened in Uttar Pradesh. Can we quickly look at Punjab? And particularly in Punjab, look at Malwa. Because the story within a story is, as I keep reiterating, Delhi of 2015 has been repeated in Malwa of 2022. 91 seats, of course, is the overall number in Punjab. And there is Bhagwant Mann laughing his way, Channi looking depressed, Sukhbir Singh Badal wondering ki ye Badal kahan se aa gaye, and Nadda ji with Amrinder Singh also looking not very happy. Majha at the moment, okay, we are not getting okay, there you have it, 38% to AAP, 11% lead here, huge lead over the Congress. The Akalis are the ones who got 24% here, but clearly were well behind. So you have a double-digit lead in Majha. Can I look at Malwa for a moment? When we look at Malwa, and this is areas around Patiala, Sangrur, 47 place 20. This is a smash. This is a 26% lead. In fact, the Akalis have done slightly better than the Congress in terms of vote share.
Yeah.
So that Dera vote may have got translated in some places.
No. Rajdeep, they are very strong in area like Bhatinda. That's their stronghold.
They're
So
pockets.
there is
But
nothing like
Rajdeep,
Dera and all
Pradeep
that.
Gupta has an important point based on the data, because a lot